Joining me now, the reporter on that story, NBC News 2024 campaign embed, who's following the Kennedy campaign, Catherine Koretsky. Catherine, you write in the piece, quote, "When Kennedy has been in the spotlight of late, it's been for bad reasons. For instance, allegations that he groped a former family babysitter, though he says he has no memory of that. He also revealed his decision to pick up a dead bear cub on a roadside in upstate New York and then stage a bicycle accident with it in Central Park. These are not the kinds of things that most campaigns would allow to continue as the narrative, but they don't seem to be doing much to change it. What's going on here?"
Yeah, Allie, so it's important to sort of take everybody back at the timeline. Following that June 27th debate, RFK Jr. did not qualify for that debate stage with President Biden and former President Trump. So he was in the headlines for missing that deadline. Just a few weeks later, the Vanity Fair article detailing a lot of details about his drug addiction, about his family relationships, the sexual assault allegation, like you mentioned, from a former babysitter of his children, Eliza Cooney. We later learned that a few weeks later, he sent her text messages saying he doesn't remember the incident. And then we have just a few weeks later, the bear incident. He got ahead of the New Yorker's article by posting a video on X last weekend saying that he was going falconry hunting with his friends in upstate New York. He saw a woman hit this bear. The bear was killed. He put it in the back of his truck with plans to skin it. And when his dinner went too long, he needed to catch a flight and decided to stash it in Central Park. So not something that a traditional campaign would want as their headlines, but Kennedy is sort of taking it in stride, making jokes about videos. In that Vanity Fair article, there was also rumors that he had eaten a dog. He posted a video feeding his dog, saying that he was in the, quote, doghouse. So a lot of bizarre headlines coming out of the Kennedy campaign as we look ahead toward November, Allie.
Honestly, some of these campaigns, sometimes the headlines just seem like a Mad Libs gone wrong. But it also speaks to the political bottom line, which is if his campaign is flailing or if it's disappearing, what impact does that leave him with in the 2024 contest?
Yeah, so I think a few months ago, the big question about RFK Jr. was who is he going to take votes away from? One of our polls from April said it was likely former President Trump more. Obviously, President Biden got out of the race, and now Vice President Kamala Harris is in. RFK Jr., it's important to note, has not held an event since Kamala Harris has joined the race, not an independent campaign event. His press availability has been very limited. The day of President Biden's dropout, he did host a press conference at his family home in Massachusetts, but very limited press there and didn't really address how he levels up with Harris. But, new polling showing that his single-digit margins where he was about a month ago in the 9 or 10% is now almost at 5. So, a few months ago in April, he was taking away from former President Trump, but it'll be interesting to see how he levels up with now Vice President Harris in the race.
Yeah, a lot of things changing, and if he doesn't get back out there, I don't know where this campaign goes. Catherine Koretsky, you'll keep us updated on all of it, I know. Thank you for joining us.